So now that we have ourselves set up with our fire ability, goes through, modifies our ammo, everything is working accordingly, we want to go ahead and make it to where we can initialize our firearm attribute set per firearm. So what I mean by that, we would have, say, the 1911, set the current magazine ammo and magazine capacity to 7, and then current ammo reserve and ammo reserve capacity, we want to set those to some multiple of 7. So pretty much, we are going to just be creating a gameplay effect that we can use across the board, basically for initializing these ammo attributes. And we need to set, the actual values that we want inside of the data asset. So if we head over to our firearm folder, load up our PDA firearm, we can go ahead and make a new section, which will again be our U properties. And we're going to change it from ability info to, let's do firearm, or we'll just do ammo. I couldn't think of a name. So int 32. So we want first our current magazine ammo. So actually not this, we want our magazine capacity. That'll be our kind of default. And then we also want the ammo reserve capacity as well. So magazine capacity and ammo reserve capacity, because those are going to define as well our current ammo reserve and our current magazine ammo when we initially set this up. So now that we have that, we can go over to we can actually close the firearm logic component for now. Let's head to our firearm.h, and here we have our held actor interface. So what I want to do is I want to have some additional functions in here that are going to be responsible more so for just, they're kind of generic, but basically I want to tell the actor, you have been held, or you have been equipped, and you have been unequipped. So that way each actor can handle, whatever they need on their own. So to begin, we have let's just create a virtual void, and we will call it let's do on equipped. And we'll just do a actor equip, or let's just call it the parent. Yeah, that's a decent enough name. And then we're going to have another one of these. So let's do on unequipped. Yeah, those are really the only kind of names I can think of to use in this context. So on equipped and on unequipped. Now if we go back to our firearm, sorry, not our firearm, our equipment component, we are setting the held actor, fire the on ramp, we call unequip, and this makes its way down to the on unequip complete. So once the unequip has finished, which is right in here, we want to, in the held actor interface, go ahead and do held actor interface. We want to call on unequipped. And in our case, we pass in the owner. So get owner like so. So we want this to run client and server. So that way, if we want to define, what runs client side and what runs server side, we at least have that option inside the actor. Then on current held actor, we're going to do not current held actor. We're going to do the held actor interfaces again and change it to on equipped instead. So once we have that in our firearm, we can actually go ahead and override on equipped and on unequipped. So we have both of those that we can use. Okay, so here's our on equipped and on unequipped. So basically, when we unequip, we are going to want to store the current attribute values, basically, of the firearm attribute set. And when we equip, we want to apply a gameplay effect that is going to be used for, basically setting the values of what we just stored. So in order to do this, we need to go ahead, go to firearm.h, and we want to create a structure. So it's going to be actually, we don't need to make this a blueprint exposed one. And we also don't need to access it anywhere else, so we're going to create the struct right inside of here. So we'll do struct, let's call it f current ammo, or let's just call it f ammo values. And we want to have basically what was in our attribute set. So let's open that up. So we have current magazine ammo. Let's just initialize to 0. We have our magazine capacity. Have the ammo reserve and the ammo capacity reserve. Like so. So here's our values, and what we want to do is pretty much if this is unset, so we're going to create a bool be set and set it to false. So if this is false, we need to actually initialize these values upon, well, use. So we're going to do that when we apply. So on equipped, we're going to do if has authority. We are basically just going to apply a gameplay effect spec to the owning parent, this guy. So we need to grab the ability system component from this parent. So I ability system interface. Ability system interface equals cast, from the parent to I ability system interface. And we're going to grab the ability system interface, get ability system component. So U ability system component, like so. And from there, we can make outgoing spec. And this outgoing spec is going to require a gameplay effect class, which we have to specify somewhere. So we'll likely just do it in our PDA Firearm. Or actually, this would probably be a good use case of having it defined in our project settings, because we're going to reuse it for, every firearm. We may as well just have it in one place. So to begin with that, let's go to our core module, public, and we'll do it in here. So in our build.cs, we need to include something else. So we need to bring in the developer settings. Once we've done that, let's create a new Unreal class, and it's going to be U developer settings. And we're going to put this in a subfolder called developer settings as well. And let's call this one, let's do Firearm developer settings for the name. So let's go ahead and let this create. Okay, once that is made, we can go ahead and make a public section and store some stuff in it. Now we need to specify some things, and I don't remember exactly how to do that, but I also know that I have done that inside of here. Out there, in this one. So where did I actually? Maybe it's in core. Yes. So inside of here, okay, so it's the display name. So I'm going to copy all this, paste it into the U class. So config equals game, default config, and meta equals display name. So that way we can actually set the display, basically what it's going to show in the project settings, up here. So in our case, this is going to be the zombies firearm settings. Then next up, we want to as well set which category we're actually going to use. So we need to override get category name. So get category name, and this is going to return wherever we want it. All right, so I wasn't sure exactly what category I wanted to use, so I went ahead and opened this project up. So in project settings, I'm kind of leaning towards using game. So right now, because I have it empty, we just have, zombies, firearm settings here, nothing's in it. I want this to be displayed underneath game. So we want to use game for the category name. So we'll have it under there. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and add some U properties. So U property, let's go ahead and make it, well, first off, we need to be config. Want it to be edit anywhere. Let's make it, I really doubt we'll need it, but blueprint read only. And category will equal firearm. So now that we have that, we can T subclass of U gameplay effect. And this is going to be the ammo init effect. Yeah, that'll be a sufficient name. And we can forward declare the U gameplay effect. So once we've done that, let's go ahead and build, and we should be good to go ahead and actually work with this. So also in Firearm to CVP, I commented this out. Okay, so missing type specifier. So let's head over to, there it is, developer settings. Okay, so maybe it's because of the way I set config and we actually need to assign it. Yeah, I actually just thought about it. And in our core module.build.cs, we never actually brought in the gameplay abilities. So let's add a dependency to gameplay abilities, and then we should be good to go. So let's try rebuilding one more time and see. Okay, so everything built just fine. So now we can go back to our firearm.cpp. And in order to make the outgoing spec, we need the gameplay effect class. So we need to fetch it from our firearm development or developer settings. So U firearm developer settings, let's go ahead and include that, which would be, actually all three of these need to be up here. So developer settings, firearm developer settings, I'll actually make that last. And we'll just call it firearm developer settings to equals new object, U firearm developer settings. So we're going to grab our developer settings and simply grab the ammo init effect. Then we want to pass in the level, so 1.0, doesn't really matter in our case, and make a new F gameplay effect context handle. So now it's going to return a F gameplay effect spec handle, and this will be our ammo init effect spec handle. So once we have that, we can grab the ability system component and apply gameplay effect spec to self. So that's going to take in the gameplay effect spec. So we can grab, or sorry, it's going to be, yeah, we can dereference, but we need to grab our ammo init effect spec handle and grab the data from it, which is actually the gameplay effect spec. So then the second parameter being a prediction key, which it creates a new one for us, so we don't really need to worry about it. So now that we have the spec handle, we actually need to set the values. So to do that, we can grab off it and search for the data and call set by caller magnitude. So I'm going to have to load up the editor to show you exactly what this is going to be for. So let's go ahead and head into the editor, comment that out, and check it out. Okay, once we are back in the editor, we can real quick look at our project settings, and we can see our zombie firearm settings here, where we can select our gameplay effect. So let's go to our core folder, gas effects, and we're going to make a new gameplay effect. And we'll call this one GE underscore firearm ammo init. Or what did I call this? Ammo init. Yeah, good enough. So we'll open that. And in our project settings, we will also set it. So now we can close our project settings and focus on the gameplay effect itself. So this is going to be an instant effect, and we want the modifier for first off being the current magazine ammo. So we'll set that, and we want the, because we're starting everything at 0, we can just set it to add, but it's probably not a bad idea to actually override. So we will override. We want to go down to the modifier magnitude and change it from scalable float to set by caller. So from here, we see a data tag. So we're going to have multiple of these. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and copy, add another one, and paste, and just change it to magazine capacity. So now we have two of them. So two attributes we're modifying here. So what the set by caller does is it allows us to specify a value. So if I hover over the parameters of this function, we have, well, actually two versions of it. We have one, which we're going to be using with the data tag that corresponds to this data tag right here. And we have the magnitude. Now the magnitude is going to be the value at which we want to give this gameplay effect, or sorry, this attribute here. So the way this will work is we need to create a tag and tell it which value we want to use. And that value is going to be from our FAMMO values here. So we need to first create some of these tags. So I'm actually going to do that in a part 2, basically, of this video. So we're going to be, extending this along because we're going on about 17 minutes now. But hopefully you will see how this is going to work. So we can save all, and I will see you in the next one. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also earn or get early access to this entire series.